Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to tell you a story that carries a lesson so powerful, so simple, and so life-changing that if you truly understand it, it can shift the entire direction of your life. It's about focus, how easy it is to lose it, and how everything transforms when you learn to protect it. So sit back, relax, and let this story speak to you in a way that maybe no one ever has. There was a boy named Ariv, a curious soul, always excited about life, always dreaming big, and always starting something new. But there was one problem: he never stayed with anything long enough to see results. He would begin strong, full of excitement, but then get distracted and jump into the next shiny thing. One week he wanted to learn guitar, the next week he wanted to start a business, then suddenly he wanted to join the gym, and the week after that he wanted to be a graphic designer. His room was filled with half-used notebooks, unfinished projects, abandoned plans, and ideas that never lived long enough to grow. His parents often told him, "You have talent, but you lose focus too easily." His teachers said, "If you just stick to one thing, you'll shine." But Ariv didn't pay much attention. He felt he had time. He felt switching goals was normal. After all, everyone talks about chasing your passion, but no one tells you what to do when your passions keep changing every 2 weeks. One day, Ariv met an old man named Kabir at the local park. Kabir was a quiet man, always reading a book or watering the plants. Ariv never really noticed him until one morning when Kabir called out, "Young boy, what are you always running for?" Ariv laughed. "I'm not running, sir. I'm just preparing for my big goals." Kabir smiled. "And what is your big goal today?" Ariv looked confused. "Today? Well, I'm learning guitar. But I'm thinking about starting a business soon. And I also want to learn designing. Oh, and maybe join the gym too." Kabir closed his book slowly and stood up. "Come with me. I want to show you something." He took Ariv to the center of the park where there was a small patch of soil. He handed him a small metal bowl filled with water and said, "Hold this bowl. Now walk straight to that tree without spilling a drop. That's all." Ariv laughed again. "That's easy." He began walking. But halfway through, a group of kids playing cricket shouted loudly. Ariv got distracted for a second and the water spilled a little. Then someone called his name. He turned his head and more water spilled. A bicycle bell rang nearby, and suddenly the bowl was almost empty. Kabir walked toward him and asked, "What happened?" Ariv shrugged. "There were so many distractions. The kids, the bell, the noise. How could I keep the water steady?" Kabir nodded. "Let's try again." This time, Kabir said, "Walk the same path. But don't look anywhere else. Don't listen to anything else. Just keep your eyes on the bowl." Ariv began again. This time he didn't look left or right. He didn't pay attention to the people around him. He ignored the kids shouting and the noise from the road. Step by step, he walked with complete attention. When he reached the tree, not a single drop had fallen. Kabir smiled softly. "Do you understand the lesson?" Ariv thought for a moment. "If I focus, I can do anything." Kabir shook his head gently. "Not anything. But everything becomes possible when you stop giving your attention to distractions. Your life is just like this bowl of water. If you look at every noise, every trend, every new shiny idea, you will spill your energy everywhere. And you will reach nowhere. But if you decide one direction and give it your full focus, you will reach your destination, calmly, consistently, successfully." Ariv stood silent. Something inside him shifted. It was as if the old man had spoken directly to his soul. Kabir continued, "Success is not about doing 100 things. It is about doing one thing with 100% focus. People don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they keep losing focus. They keep starting over. They keep chasing the next exciting thing instead of mastering the one thing in front of them. Ariv looked down at the bowl. It suddenly looked like a mirror reflecting his entire life. He realized he had been pouring his energy into too many things and ending up empty every time. He had been starting but never finishing. Dreaming but never building. Planning but never committing. He asked, "But how do I choose, sir? How do I pick only one thing?" Kabir smiled. "You don't pick the one that feels easiest. You pick the one that matters. The one that makes you feel alive. And once you pick it, you give it time. You give it effort. You give it consistency. You protect it like you protected that water." He paused and added, "And most importantly, you stop letting small distractions steal your big future." Those words stayed in Ariv's mind long after he went home. The next day, instead of starting something new, he looked at everything he had abandoned and asked himself one simple question: which of these truly matters to me? Slowly, he discovered his real passion, designing. Not because it was easy, but because he loved creating, imagining, building, and expressing. So for the first time in his life, he made a decision. No new project. No new idea. No switching. No distractions. Just one thing. The first week was tough. His old habits kept pulling him. He felt tempted to try new things. But he reminded himself of the bowl of water. He reminded himself of Kabir's words. He reminded himself that every distraction was a drop spilling, every temptation was energy lost. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Ariv improved. Slowly at first, then faster. His designs became better. His confidence grew. He started earning. He started earning. People began to notice his work. He realized something powerful, that all the success he wanted was always possible, but he had been too distracted to receive it. One day, Ariv returned to the park to thank Kabir. But he couldn't find him. It was as if the old man had disappeared. But his lesson stayed forever. Ariv stood in the same spot holding the same metal bowl. He whispered, "Thank you, for teaching me the power of focus." And that is the lesson I wanted to share with you today. Because maybe you are just like Ariv. Maybe you start things with excitement but lose motivation midway. Maybe distractions steal your attention. Maybe you keep switching goals, hoping one of them will magically change your life. But nothing changes, until you change your focus. Listen carefully, your life is shaped by what you give your attention to. If you focus on everything, you master nothing. But if you focus on one thing, really focus, everything changes. Imagine how far you could go in 6 months if you stopped getting distracted. Imagine how much progress you could make if you stopped starting over. Imagine how confident, skilled, and unstoppable you would become if you just stayed committed to the path you choose. The world is noisy. Trends change every day. People will pull you in every direction. But your power lies in choosing your direction and protecting your focus. From today, promise yourself one thing: you won't lose focus. Not again. Not for small distractions. Not for temporary excitement. Not for people who don't understand your goals. You will focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Every dream you have, every skill you want, every future you imagine, all of it becomes possible the moment you decide to stop scattering your energy and start protecting it. The bowl of water is in your hands now. Walk with focus. Walk with intention. Walk with commitment. Because that one lesson, the lesson of not losing focus, can truly change your life.